let me be abundantly clear. While all this nonsense is going on, while this ridiculousness, that we're dealing with in terms of Republicans doing yet another recount that will yet again fail in terms of the Arizona recount, or trying to get another bite at the apple of Georgia perhaps, or Pennsylvania, down the line, which will again fail, be a waste of time, and is really the main purpose of it, if it has any at all, is to continue to seed doubt about 2020. That if only
Right.
we'd had one, if they didn't let us do this one thing, if we could have gone back and looked at this, there's a nearly infinite number of complaints they could fabricate to make up things that they should have been able to do and that they weren't allowed to do. I guess the main one being they weren't allowed to continue using blue and black pens to draw on ballots in ways that would change the outcome of the election and the ballots that they're reviewing. That said, one would hope that there are some, allegedly, according to this group, there are some veterans and others that are involved in this, and though they may be Trump supporters, perhaps they're better angels as veterans who fought for democracy in their in the theater of war over time. And I know,
stop using the word democracy.
I know. One would wonder what Tucker Carlson would have us use instead.
I like wood.
I'm not using that instead of. Anyways, I'm just glad they're
Great
here.
to be with you, Dick.
Thanks, Ted. While this Arizona recount is going on,
oh yeah, that's normal.
That's, by the way, Mike Lindell talking about the elections.
Oh yeah, that's normal.
Over the course of this time, Joe Biden, the current president of the United States of America, the leader of the free world, has issued more sanctions against Russia in the last, I think, 3 weeks than Donald Trump did in his entire presidency, even though the acts that Biden is sanctioning them for happened during Trump's presidency, and has been successful. In the Russians have retreated from the Ukrainian border. They have left some munitions there, and it was a show of strength. But they're not leaving those soldiers parked there indefinitely. They have withdrawn in the last week, which is, one would say that after Biden has a couple of calls with Putin, in a normal view of American history, if this were the 80s or the 90s or even the early 2000s, a series of sanctions and a few phone calls from between the president of the United States and Russia that led to troops being withdrawn from a border would have been seen as part of the process, as part of the policy of the administration in the United States being carried out, and a reaction by a foreign leader who was trying to do a show of strength, and they had withdrawn. Had this withdrawal happened during Trump, he would have gone, see, I have a great relationship with Putin. We're good friends. He pulled these people back because he respects me. Now it's just he did it because he's just tired of them sitting there. Yes, and thank you, Benny Loco, for the recount super chat, which is of course Biden, which is what happens during recounts all the time, and is one of the scariest noises that a Republican in a recount can ever hear. Biden, Trump, Biden. So, by the way, we have 4 new. Summer took in 4 new kittens while I'm in Florida. They just got off being bottle fed.
4 fosters?
Yeah, 4 fosters, and they're adorable. I'm so mad I'm not there. They're super cute. So, and they just purr.
Haven't had an ugly kitten.
They purr and I have. Oh, Frank hated my guts. The ironic name that we had a foster named Frank who just fist at me and hissed and hated me. I had to use feral gloves on him the entire time he was in the house.
Oh, wow.
Poor thing. Because I was the one who held him when he had to get medicine, so he held that grudge against me forever. So,
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Biden is busy doing president stuff. He got the exact aid package that he presented passed. He is going to get ready for it, folks. He is going to get a $2.25 trillion infrastructure bill passed, which would be like if Trump, imagine if Trump were president and instead of infrastructure, it was the military. We were building warships and tanks and airplanes to strafe bomb and, and push back against the military leaders of the world, who apparently he has a great relationship with. I don't even know why you would even need these things, because he knows how to talk to these folks. But we spent an equal amount building up our military in peacetime, renewing all of our nukes, right? The ability to destroy the rest of the world 9 times over was a completely valid use of... 9 times. Ooh.
Sorry, that's my Ferris Bueller Tourette's.
Yeah, exactly. And, of course, 9 days from defending your life. How many days are you looking at? 9? Ooh. So I'm going to get you some wine. So over the, while they're wailing and gnashing of teeth about Trump is really president and he'll be back in August and any day now, and just relax. And all the prophets, all the psycho prophets have all been right. He's still president. They were right. Jesus told me through an antenna I super glued to the top of my head that Biden is not. He's a fake president. He's a baby eater. And Trump is still president. And he's going to be in Arizona and blah, blah. We're going to win here. And then, we're going to win in Maricopa. Right. That over the course of doing that, while that's happening, Biden has doubled the number of people he was planning on vaccinating in his first 100 days. They have, they are, getting kids back to school. They're going to have 100% of schools going back to normal by the fall. Everybody. Like, we go back to school next year, everybody goes full-time. Colleges, universities, community colleges, vocational, kindergarten through, K through 12. Everybody's going back by the fall, no matter what. And a lot of summer school pickup will be done in person because you won't have to do it via remote, because it'll be a great way for kids to get back together and hang out with their friends over the summer and get back to non-remote learning, right? So Biden's busy doing that. This week, he recognized the Armenian genocide. First president in American history to recognize, sorry, Cenk, sorry, TYT, sorry, that must have bummed you out this week, but, because, they're named after the people who carried it out. It's a little rough. Biden is literally the first person to recognize that a million Armenians were murdered because they were Armenian, and that is a genocide. Seems pretty easy, and yet, first guy to do it. And I'm telling you, Biden is going to get his infrastructure bill passed. And in it, he's going to raise the corporate tax rate and the personal tax rate above people making $400,000 a year. He's gonna, and by the way, up to $400,000, you're not paying on that first $400,000. It's the part that goes over. So if you make $400,090, you're gonna be paying 28% on that 90. You know what I mean? So the people who are really mad about this don't make anywhere close to $400,000 a year or $800,000 a year even. There, and the number of ways that people do that, where they diversify that, where the number of LLCs. Go look up how many LLCs the Trump family has. It's nearly 1 per project since he's been alive, because that's how you gonna bifurcate all your tax stuff out into smaller and smaller slices. So they, you pay, and then you can write it off. Oh yeah, well this company made this money, but it was totally not profitable. If you jam 6 of them together, you'll recognize that there was profit. But there's, if you recognize all 5 of these companies are one company, there's profit there. If you spread it out over multiple companies, There's no profit. They're all eating crap. I get a refund. That's how he got $76 million back from the government, and why they fought him on it, and why that phony conversation he always said, I'm under audit. We've got an audit. We're doing this audit. The audit, he wasn't under audit. The audit had happened. They went, oh, we did an audit. You need to give us that $76 million back. And Trump went, I already spent it, and you can't have it. And so we're going to fight it. They were fighting the results of an audit. He wasn't under audit this entire time. He was trying to find every way possible not to pay back a $76 million tax refund he didn't earn on taxes he never paid in the first place. So, but let's not forget, the sun shines out of his backside, and Biden is illegitimate and is incapable of yada yada, and he's got dementia, and he can't. It's not a stutter. He just doesn't know where he is, and other people are telling him what to do, even though the policies that he's implementing are exactly what he ran on, are much to the chagrin of the people he ran against initially, and yet he's effectively getting them what they want just through another methodology without undermining the entire business structure of the United States that's made us a successful economy forever. Without getting rid of that, you can still benefit everyone. How about we just work on making the good parts available to everybody instead of just trying to take the good parts away? This has basically been Biden's argument as far as economic stuff, and it's working. And it's infuriating Republicans, because what do they have to do? They have to face every day that there's currently anyways, a Biden boom going on. And if the infrastructure bill gets passed, it will get legs. The infrastructure bill, the rescue package, will salvage the American economy from the dents and damage and cuts it took during COVID. The infrastructure package will give life and legs and longevity to the economy, the Biden economy, which is what he's shooting for. And he is not asking for a 40% tax rate or a 60 or a 90% tax rate. He's asking for a mitigatory middle point between these two. Between what it was at 35, what it went to at 21, going to 28. And yet, the Republicans have to run on, this is massive socialism, this is massive communism, these are all Marxists, the left of Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders can never wish for something that he's seeing here. This is the fear of the Republican Party right now, is that they themselves are kissing the ring of madness and projecting that madness onto the other side because they can't come to terms with the fact that they are just flat out wrong. We'll be back. It's the Hal Sparks Radio program, Mega Worldwide.